We're back with the latest on the war in Gaza. According to Palestinian health officials, another child has died of malnutrition after aid officials warned the enclave remains at high risk of famine. The dire humanitarian situation was among the issues brought up by U.S. officials during the Israeli defense minister's visit to Washington. Relief groups have accused Israel of not letting enough aid into Gaza. Israel, though, has blamed the United Nations for the holdups. NBC News international correspondent Matt Bradley joins us from Tel Aviv. Matt, good morning. So the Israeli defense minister met with national security advisor Jake Sullivan yesterday. As we mentioned, aid was one of the issues that was brought up. Reuters is also reporting that the U.S. officials informed the Israeli delegation that the Biden administration is continuing to put a pause on that shipment of heavy bombs. What more can you tell us about what happened in this meeting?
Yeah, so that sounds like there's no change there. 2,000-pound bombs. That one consignment of bombs was the one thing that it sounded like started off this whole round of recriminations between Washington and Jerusalem. And it started last week when Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu released that video where he scolded the Biden administration for what he said were delays in weapons shipments from the United States to Israel. Now, the Biden administration reacted almost in kind, saying that they had no idea what the prime minister was talking about. But that was about that one consignment of heavy weapons that the Biden administration has said their concern could be used in densely populated areas in the Gaza Strip, specifically in that southern city of Rafah, where operations are continuing. So this is a situation that it looks as though might not be entirely resolved when we see Yoav Gallant, the Minister of Defense, finally leaving Washington after this week of meetings. But the administration did assure him that $6.5 billion worth of military aid is still flowing to Israel from the United States. That's a huge quantity, and one that is going to continue, according to American officials, and this is all quoted by Reuters. So it looks as though Yoav Gallant will have done something, maybe, to smooth over some of those tensions that were sparked by the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Important to note that during a lot of these meetings, and we heard comments from Yoav Gallant, he actually made some pretty oblique criticisms of Benjamin Netanyahu for attacking the U.S. administration, one of the great benefactors of the Israeli state and its operations in the Gaza Strip. So Yoav Gallant, the defense minister, has been doing his best to try to smooth over these tensions. We'll see if he succeeds.
Matt, let's talk more about what's happening on the ground in Gaza. Our NBC News crews who are inside the enclave, they have been speaking with doctors about what they are saying, this alleged mistreatment of Palestinian medical personnel by the Israeli military. What are we hearing from them?
Yeah, well, we actually heard from a British medical charity recently just saying that some 500 medical professionals had been killed in the Gaza Strip ever since the latest round of hostilities began in October. That's about 2.5% of all of the medical workers in the Gaza Strip. And it comes just a week or two after the United Nations announced that the Gaza Strip is the most dangerous place in the world for aid workers, not just medical professionals. But, you know, in addition to those who have been killed by Israel's ongoing hostilities and attacks on the Gaza Strip, there have been those who have been imprisoned, and our team caught up with one medical professional who talked about the imprisonment ordeal for a lot of his colleagues. Here's what this person said.
310 of our medical staff are now arrested in Israeli prisons. They describe the situation there as a nightmare, a real nightmare. Our medical staff are regularly killed inside the prisons. Our message to the world is, please pay us your attention. We are just medical staff. We should be protected. We should not be targeted.
So as you can hear, they're talking about medical professionals who are on the front line of helping civilians in the Gaza Strip. This, as we're hearing that the number of dead from these Israeli attacks, according to Gazan health authorities, is now reaching nearly 38,000 ever since October.
And of course, this all comes as in Israel there's this wave of anti-government protests and demands for that hostage deal. Matt Bradley, thank you very much.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.